Ron DeSantis got elected because of me. You remember he had nothing. He was dead. He was leaving the race. He came over and he begged me for an endorsement. He was getting ready to drop out. He said, if you endorse me, I'll win. And there were tears coming down from his eyes. He said, if you endorse me, I'll win.
That was former President Donald Trump claiming in an interview with Hugh Hewitt that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis cried on the phone while he begged for an endorsement. But there's some good news here for Ron. If he cries himself a river, he's already prepared for it. Let's take a look at this picture. See, he's got his boots on. So it doesn't matter how many tears he cries, he's ready to go. But so Ron DeSantis is Trump's biggest threat in the 2024 Republican primary, but Trump doesn't really see him that way.
In the polls, Ron DeSantis is way behind me. Every once in a while, Fox will put up a phony poll, because Fox is not Fox of old, that I can tell you. I'm sure you know that too. But Fox will put up a fake poll. But I'm way ahead in New Hampshire. I'm way ahead in South Carolina. I'm way ahead in Iowa, and I'm way ahead in the country.
Fox News out here catching strays while Trump's talking about DeSantis. But he says that he's not really worried about DeSantis, that he's way ahead in the polls. And honestly, looking at current polling, he's probably right. So let's take a look at this reporting from The Hill, where they were talking about a hypothetical 8-way primary. They said that 48% of Republican voters said they would back Trump for the nod, while 28% would support DeSantis. Well, that's good news for Trump. DeSantis saw a 3-point bump in support since last month. So this poll also looked at other potential primary opponents, one of whom has since officially announced her candidacy for president. Back to that reporting. No other prospective candidate managed to win double-digit support in the poll. Former Vice President Mike Pence came in third place at 7%, while Senator Marco Rubio and former US Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley tied for fourth place at just 3%. So while DeSantis is Trump's most serious competition for the nomination, that didn't stop him from taking jabs at two other potential primary candidates.
I've helped all those people. I took Mike out of nothing. I believe he always said he'd never run against the president. Nikki suffers from something that's a very tough thing to suffer from. She's overly ambitious.
She's overly ambitious. And he plucked Mike Pence up out of irrelevancy, apparently. Cenk, do you agree with Trump's assessment that he doesn't really have any real competition for the 2024 Republican nomination?
I don't. I think that it's too early to tell. So it's a great question. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. But first, I have a question for the right wing. What do you guys think it is? I mean, you heard him say it yourself, no fake news. It's on a conservative show. You can watch that tape anywhere you like. He said Ron DeSantis was begging him and crying, tears coming down from his eyes. Imagine Ron DeSantis like weeping in front of Donald Trump. Oh, I'm begging you like that. Did Ron DeSantis do that, or is Donald Trump a liar? It's definitely one of those two. So which one is it? I don't know. I'm not a right winger. You're a right winger. If you're watching this and you're a right winger, you answer the question. Which one? Do you think Ron DeSantis is so pathetic that he started weeping like a little child in front of Donald Trump? Or do you think Donald Trump is an obvious, ridiculous liar? Okay, by the way, what do I think? But that's gonna skew the results. If I tell you what I think, you're just gonna depict the opposite, okay? So, I don't know, leave comments down below. I'm curious what the MAGA chud heads think. It's kind of a bit of a conundrum for them. You could look up conundrum now, chud heads. Okay, now, to your question though, Ray, look, he's out ahead in the national polls, although there are some polls, legitimate polls, that have DeSantis winning in early primary states like New Hampshire. And DeSantis is way closer than anybody would normally be this far out from an election. Normally you don't have enough name recognition, but right-wing media is very pro DeSantis. And so they're pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. And so DeSantis definitely has a shot. But for a while, mainstream media and right-wing media were pretending, it's already over. No, DeSantis has won. And Trump's, no, don't worry about him. You don't have to worry about him anymore, right? No, that's absurd. Of course you have to worry about him. He still has a huge lead in the national polls. among Republican primary voters. And what I got out of that, guys, was I got a serious 2016 vibe out of that, where he's now starting to push them around and intimidate them and bully them. And I don't think that the other Republicans have it in them to fight back. I mean, if he did that to me, he'd get a proverbial political bitch slap right back in his face, right? But Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, where are you at? Mike Pence, where are you at? Nothing. And they're not gonna do anything, and he's gonna bully them just like he did in 2016. So that bodes well for Trump.
You know, I think, listen, I'm not a MAGA Republican or Republican at all, Cenk, but I would say, to answer your question, I would say yes and, right? I believe that DeSantis absolutely called Trump and begged him. We've heard this story for years, that how he called Trump about an endorsement. And when Trump finally did endorse him, he put out a political ad about the endorsement holding a Trump sign. So, I mean, there's some truth there. There's some dare there. I don't know about the crime part. Trump likes to make men that play off to be strong, to make them look weak. That's his thing. He does that often. But I think he absolutely begged Trump for that endorsement. I also think that Trump's lying about the crying. Here's what I do know. Trump is a projector in chief, and I think he's projecting a lot right here. The idea that he called Nikki Haley overly ambitious, he's talking about himself. I mean, like, this is a guy who's not qualified to be alive, yet it's this. He wake up every day and pretend. I think what we're seeing, though, is the truth of the matter, that DeSantis is wildly popular in Florida, and some of the stuff that's happening in Florida is due to the Florida man, or I should say Florida men that exist. And I don't know if it's enough to win the Republican nomination. I don't think DeSantis can beat Trump in a Republican Party where everybody, like you said, Cenk, is afraid to challenge Trump or push back, because they know if they push back on Trump, then the Trump mob comes after you and you become irrelevant in the Republican Party. We saw two true conservatives, even one that voted with him almost 90% of the time, lose primaries because Trump said they weren't loyal to him. So this idea that you can not even know what Chronicles is in the Bible, 2 Chronicles is what Trump called it, his favorite book, and still think that you are going to, say Mike Pence didn't have a place in your presidency or making you president is ridiculous. And you didn't pluck him out of obscurity. Matter of fact, the Christians don't know Trump or support Trump without Mike Pence. So I think Trump doesn't care about any of that. So yeah, I think Trump is still, to me, the strongest Republican out there, and that's good for all progressives.
Absolutely. And just quickly, Cenk, to the point you made about it looking more like 2020, at the beginning of that interview with Hugh Hewitt, he kept trying to push Trump to put out more nicknames for the other candidates or potential candidates. We've got Ron DeSanctimonious so far, but we'll have to keep an eye out to see what other nicknames come from Trump during this. I'm sure is going to be a very heated primary.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.